Mexico on my very last road trip in the van I've been living in for 4 years. We're camped in Taos, New Mexico right now, and in 3 days I'm gonna be back home in Austin, Texas, and I'm gonna be selling my van. I don't want this trip to be over. I'm not ready to process that this is the last time I'll be living in this van, but there's a lot of new exciting things to come and a big surprise for you guys. So I know that this is the right choice and life path. It's just like really emotional because I've had so many experiences in this van. We're parked right by this beautiful stream, and I thought about doing cold water exposure this morning, but there's not a great place to get in. It's very shallow, so I might pass on that. But I do need to make breakfast before our drive, so let's do that. Oh my gosh, that is so cute.
Sarah, look at this. Did you see this? Look at him. His little tongue. Oh, I know. I was like, I don't think I can go in that river.
I know. We were so cute and ambitious last night. We're like, we're gonna wake up at 8. Yeah. We're gonna dip in the river. It's gonna be great. All 3 of us wake up. We're like, there's no way we're doing that. We made the avocado toast and we're gonna eat it while we're driving because we just wanna get as much driving in today so that we can make it to White Sands National Park in the evening and see sunset there. I'm so excited to go. I haven't been in so long. Oh my god, that was so good. Making a little pit stop to get Starbucks. There it is. Cheers. We made a pit stop to get Starbucks. I had matcha with oat milk, and I also get a pump of vanilla and strawberry puree. It's the best way to have matcha. If you haven't had it, you need to try it. It's so good. But to address the title of this video that I saved $70,000 living in this van, I'll like break down exactly how I calculated that. What?
Anyway, that's the title of the video.
I was calculating like how much I would have spent on rent. Like the average rent all our friends pay or any of the places that we travel to is about $1,500 a month. And then I multiplied that by how many years I've been in the van. 70,000, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like if I would have had to pay rent over these last 4 years, I would have spent 70,000 on rent. And granted, I had to pay for the van. I'll talk more about that later, but we're gonna drive and continue our journey down south. We are turning back right now because we got a call from Rachel. I lost sight of her. I thought everything was fine, but she called us and said that she is stuck. We are going to go on a rescue mission, which will probably entail having to call someone or flag someone down because I don't have supplies to tow her out. Oh my God, Rachel. Why did she turn around there? Rachel! We kept being like, how did she get stuck? Do you have AAA? We made it to the scene. She's in the worst possible position, but this sweet truck driver pulled over and he's going to help her get out. That's the thing I love about truck drivers. They're actually so nice. That's something I've learned since being on the road. I've had many interactions and befriended many truck drivers on my travels, and they're always so sweet and always very willing to help if they see you broken down on the side of the road. So we'll see if this works. Fingers crossed.
Oh, is it gonna flip over?
Here you go.
Thank you.
For the last week, we've been traveling with my friend Rachel. She just recently got a school bus, so I was gonna ask her some questions about life on the road and how she's enjoying it, especially as my chapter in this van comes to a close and yours begins.
True.
How did we meet?
We met in college.
You can hold this too if you want.
Can it still hear me?
Yeah, okay.
We met in college like 6 or 7 years ago. We had like a mutual friend group. Kind of a long story. It's a juicy one. Maybe we really took to a liking with each other because we rock climbed. We were into yoga, and then we went on a road trip together. The first road trip was here. Yeah. This was the first stop.
Before I traveled in this van, I traveled in this little Suburban, like my family's old car that's older than me. This is a 1999 Chevrolet Suburban, so it's actually not older than me like I thought it was, but it's a pretty simple setup, and this is the first van I ever traveled in and renovated. I mean, renovated is a loose term, but I'll show you the setup. So I didn't really do much this build, and as a result, it didn't really cost very much. Back here, I already have a bunch of storage space, and it's pretty flat, but there is a second row of seats, so all I did to those is just fold them down. And then I put a foam pad back here, and I made window covers. I had a little cooler in here for food, and like some boxes for clothes and storage and stuff. And in this van, I went to the majority of my first national parks. I explored most of the West Coast for the first time, and I feel like it really goes to show that you don't need a really expensive rig to do van life like the one I have now. I am so grateful to have like a fully built out rig that has all of the amenities. But before I had that, I made it happen and I made it work. I've done this, I did car camping before I did this. And so yeah, there's a lot of different options depending on your budget. You traveled with me in that Suburban, and we went here, we went to Yosemite together in that van, San Diego.
Snow Globe. We went all the way up north, Lake Tahoe, and then one day you drove 10 hours to San Diego.
Oh my gosh, I didn't remember. Well, I've always been in it for like long drives.
I like don't even know if we stopped.
Recently, I've been really forcing myself to like slow down on long travel days and take breaks. With Choya too, like take walks, but I feel like I have this tendency to just send it.
Yeah, I get that.
Just do it. Okay, so when did you get on the road, and I guess why did you decide to?
Wait, what day is it? Is it August? September?
No, October.
It's October. See, ever since I moved into the bus, time has been warped. I don't know. I think 3 months. I decided to do it because I spend a lot of the time out of the country. Every time I come back into the country from traveling or living abroad, I don't know where to live. I get Airbnbs, which are expensive. I sleep on my friend's couch, who's also my ex. I was like, a bus! A van life, bus, yes, let's do it. That makes so much sense.
I feel like usually for long-term friendships, you grow apart, you guys end up being different, but we're very much on the same path, and now you've literally joined the same nomad community, and I was just in her community with the fire dancers and pie. Cool. Like, that's so cute.
Thinking about this the other day. We've learned a lot from each other and taken a lot of each other's interests and made them our own with multiple different things.
Now that you've been on the road, you went even to Descend on Bend, which is a van festival.
That was my first stop in van life.
What do you like about it? Like, what's your first impression?
Fucking amazing. I was like, I guess.
Yes,
Okay. It has been everything that I hoped and dreamed and more.
Did you do it to save money a little bit?
I did it because I needed a stable home when I come back into the US. Yeah, I kind of just like could afford the luxury. And that's why I went for like a bus, and also a bus that has a lot of amenities, like a new bus.
We spent all evening at the sand dunes and watched sunset there. It was so beautiful. The sand dunes at sunset is one of the most pretty places I've ever been to. Woo! Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Last night we made it to this campsite. It is so beautiful and it's right by the lake. I actually woke up for sunrise, but I didn't get out of the van. I wanted to talk a little bit about the $70,000 that I've saved living in my van. I didn't necessarily move into a van to like budget or save money or pay off debt or anything like some people definitely do. Just like Rachel said, she didn't do it for that reason. People live in rigs for various reasons, and it's not always to save money. But I definitely wanted to travel. I wanted to have the time and freedom to work on my art and see if I could sell my art and if that could be a viable career option for me. I definitely have been able to make that happen, and along the way I've built some of the most amazing memories of my life. Found this 6-week-old puppy in the bushes right by this beach.
I've seen the mountains rise and seen the sunny shores. I've traveled miles away just to go a little more. I've met so many faces, but when I met yours,
Found a mouse in my van this morning.
I wanna hold on to you. I woke up to the sound of heaven, sleep to the sound of rain. fall down and melt within the same day.
My life would be completely different if I didn't move into this van. I would totally spend more money living this lifestyle, but it is crazy that along the way I actually have saved money over the past 4 years. I've saved far more than the van cost by not having to pay rent every single month. I also calculated exactly how many miles I've driven in the past 4 years, and I compare that to my family's mileage, and I also compare that to my past mileage, and it's not different. It's the same average. That kind of surprised me, but it does make sense when I think about it, because my parents and me in my past were driving every single day to work, like 15-30 minutes commute to work every single day, whereas I will drive long stretches every once in a while, but oftentimes I'll find a campsite I really like and I'll stock up on food and water and I'll stay there. Campsites are always free. I think in the last 4 years I've probably paid for like 1 or 2 campsites, and then I mean there's water, which you do sometimes have to pay for, but that doesn't really add up to a significant amount. I've actually been tracking my expenses over the past 4 years as well, and I would say my expenses average $2,000, but they can get as low as $500 a month, which is pretty crazy. Like, this lifestyle can be really affordable once you have the vehicle you're gonna travel in. I think we're gonna drive today. We have 9 more hours to Austin, so we'll probably split that up in 2 days and get as much done as we can today, so let's do it. Rachel and I are gonna play chess, but we're gonna do it on her roof deck, and she has a really cool way to get up with this pull-up bar. You just go like this. Pit stop and ate at a Mexican restaurant, which it's the self-proclaimed cutest restaurant in, I don't even know what town we're in. What town are we in? Bomina? Small towns are so cute. This guy just came up to me in his car and he like rolls down the window real slow, and then he's like, "Have you been in that house right there?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Do yourself a favor and go in there. It's a cool like haunted house." It just looks like someone's house. It feels, do I open the door?
Oh, it's definitely a haunted house.
That was a bust. It was closed, but whatever. We're gonna get back on the road now.
Running through your mind, you keep me in your pocket. It's so typical. Never cross that line.
This is hands down the grossest job in van life. Guess what it is? I'm sure you already know. I'm struggling to get this hole deep enough because there's so many big rocks in here. But if you haven't already guessed, I am digging this hole so that I can put the compost material from my Nature's Head composting toilet in here. I feel like for a lot of jobs, the more you do it, the more accustomed you become to it. With this, I genuinely don't have any more tolerance for cleaning out my toilet and my own shit. Although I am so grateful for a toilet. Like, even though once a month or once every 2 months when I clean this out, it's like the worst day, I do think it genuinely is worth it to have a toilet in the van. The toilet is clean. That probably took like 20 minutes in total. Now I just have to cover up the hole, and I'm also going to put some big rocks on top so animals don't dig it up. I am now going to thoroughly wash my hands because even though I wore gloves, I still just feel disgusting after I do that. Hard part is over. I am so glad I'm never going to have to empty that toilet again. But even though I'm not going to miss that, I am going to miss this van so much. I really can't believe I'm selling it so soon. Like, it has not hit me at all that I'm not going to have this van that I've lived in for the past 4 years. It has offered me so many opportunities, and one of them, like I've said, has been financial freedom and a lot of opportunities because I haven't had to pay rent. But I already know I'm going to get some comments about this. One of them being like, not everybody has $20, $30, or $40,000 to put down on a van. That's a lot of money, and I totally agree. Like, when I bought my van, that was the craziest amount of money to me. I had never spent that amount of money at once in my life. And so it was really nerve-wracking. And that being said, I also had tons of privileges in order to be able to save up that much money. And I think I am going to get other comments as well on how I calculated that I saved that much. I know it's not a perfect calculation because who knows what I'd be doing if I wasn't living in this van, right? Like, I'm just taking an estimate of the average rent of the places that I've been spending most time in and multiplying that over the years that I've been living in this van. But there's still nuances in it. Like, of course I did outright buy this van, so maybe I should have subtracted it, but at the same time, because I bought it in cash, I am going to sell it and hopefully get at least what I put into it for. Hopefully more though, because I put so much labor into the build, so much love into it, and a ton of time. I'm really excited for whoever gets it. Thank you guys so much for watching as usual. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week on Sunday.